I cast a wide net, I'll just get it all, you know. But here's the deal. Really what you want to do is work with clients who are a good fit for what you do. And not everybody is the right fit for what you're offering, or maybe it's, you know, the web people could possibly refer each other as well, because there's certain things that one person's good at versus another. This is one segment of overall caring for your lawn and your trees and all those kind of things. So really what we want to do in BNI is help people understand that if you operate in a specific niche and you become an expert within the group, which is not to say that you don't do potentially many other things outside of what you do in BNI and what you promote in BNI, but ultimately when you become that expert, that's when people begin to easily know how to refer you, because they know what you do and how to send you business. So it's a great, when you think about giver's gain, that's really the mindset that we want people to have, is that there's enough out there to go around. You know, when I'm not doing BNI, which is most mornings after 9 o'clock, I own a customer service training and leadership development company, and some of my best referral sources are other coaches and consultants who don't do what I do. You know, I don't do sales training. I happen to think Sandler does that better than anybody, so I refer my clients to Sandler if they want sales training. So it's just a matter of seeing that sort of bigger picture of there's enough of an opportunity out there for everybody if we're willing to invest in each other. And the other thing is, and we talked about this kind of a little bit within the group prior to now, is the really cool thing about being that go-to person in your network is that it's a lot of fun to be able to give referrals to people and to be a resource for your clients for other products and services that they might need, because then you become that consistent resource for them, and then that becomes a reciprocal relationship in the long term. So in his #1 best-selling book, in his original book, Dr. Ivan Misner, the founder of BNI, other than a book called Giver's Gain, is the world's best-known marketing secret. And he talks in there about the 3 reasons you need a network, which are you need information, you need support, and you need referrals. And you guys know, when you're in business development and you're in that entrepreneurial world, or you're, you know, sometimes it's lonely out there, and sometimes it's brutal, you know. So you need information about, you know, what are my competitors doing? Where's my next piece of business coming from? You know, how should I set up my legal entity? What kind of insurance do I need? You need support, because some days it's just tough out there. You know, we are in a labor shortage right now, so it's like, I know, I'm married to one, I get it. You know, so unless you're in this, you know, I know, you know, unless you understand what's going on there, so it's important for people in the trades to pull together right now and really work on helping each other. So you need that support, but you also need referrals. And that really is, you know, referrals, you guys, is actually the second oldest profession. Sales is the oldest, because nothing happens till something gets sold. But ultimately, people are always asking, you know, who cuts your hair, who grooms your dog, who's your dentist. So it's just a natural opportunity for us. Dr. Misner has a great podcast out there too called Standing in the Middle of a Referral. Because a lot of times we're standing there, and if we're really tuned into what someone is saying or what people are saying around us that, you know, I need, or I can't find, or I want, or I wish I had, or, you know, I just lost my insurance agent, or my accountant moved away, or whatever, there's opportunity all around us if we're just tuned into how can I help other people. So if we get out of that mindset of, you know, I just got to close this piece of business right now because my revenue depends on it, and get into who can I help and how can I help them, that will move you along, I think, in your business a lot quicker. So the presentation I want to do today is on a model in BNI that we call VCP. And every relationship that you are in goes through this process, this stage of development. How many men in the room are married, just out of curiosity? Anybody give their wife the engagement ring on the first date? What happens in Vegas? I don't want to know. Right. Yeah, why not? Why didn't you give it to her on the first date? Didn't know her well enough. You what?
So I didn't want to give it to her when I did.
She was ready, but you weren't.
That's on video, Brady.
Yeah, you didn't know the individual well enough, right? So ultimately, every relationship starts out in the beginning in the phase of visibility. And the purpose of what we do early in our relationships is to determine whether or not the relationship has long-term potential benefit, right? And any long-term mutually successful relationship has to be beneficial to both parties that are involved in it. We talked last week about the fact that the number one key to any long-term successful relationship is trust. And that trust is a function of two things: character, which is who you are, and competence, which is what you do. So when you demonstrate those things in your network, people begin to trust you and develop that thought process of, if I need printing, or if I need a bathroom remodel, or if I'm looking for a chiropractor, I'm going to work with somebody I trust. John Maxwell, for those of you who know who he is, adds one more piece to the trust factor. I know I can't. And that is connection. So our ability to connect with each other and actually build those relationships. So we start out here at the beginning of the process in what we call in BNI visibility. So I've seen Phil, I know him a little bit, but I don't know him well enough yet to send him referrals. So I'm working on getting to know him a little better. And you'll notice on this chart, this graph, that there's a relationship between confidence and time. So it has to do with the time that you invest in getting to know the other person as well. We live in this fast temporary relief world. I can buy now with one click and have it delivered to my door this afternoon by a drone. Okay, but look, we live in the instant gratification world. There is no shortcut to earning and establishing trust with people. It takes time. My longtime colleague in BNI, Hugh Gray, likes to say BNI is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's actually a get-rich-slow scheme. But you can speed up the curve based on your character and competence and the way you engage with other people in your network to develop that relationship. So ultimately, you start out with visibility, you move up the timeline confidence-wise, and you get to here. And actually, as trust begins to be established, this is where you start to get referrals early in this process, and you begin to increase your credibility with your network. So I want to talk a little bit about credibility. What does it take to be credible in your mind?
Do what you say you're going to do.
Do what you say you're going to do. What else?
Communication.
Communication, that's huge. Yeah.
Follow up.
Follow up.
Quality of your work.
Quality of your work. Yeah. All those things are factors in that process. So developing credibility and trust takes time. Kristen told me a great story this morning. I wanted to share it with you guys. Basically about borrowed credibility. Because what we do in BNI, when you give somebody a referral, what have you effectively done for them?
Endorse them.
Yes, you have loaned them your reputation. They are borrowing your credibility. And because Pam told me that I need to, talk to Guy about my pre-planning funeral strategy, call Guy before you die, that I'm going to talk to him because I trust her and she said so. And so that's really what this becomes all about, is that you plug into the credibility of the other people in the group, and we can speed up that trust developing process. So I want Kristen to tell this story.